Hello, Inner Tubes. I'm Juicy Jones. This is Orbital Vaping headquarters, and today this is VapeAM. We're talking about the Theorem, if it focuses. What is this thing? It's new, it's hot, everyone likes it. We're going to review it, we're going to build it, I'm going to show you how to wick it. I'm going to take this thing apart now. And so sit tight, and in a second, we're going to come back and do all this stuff and chat with you. VapeAM Theorem Show. VapeAM Theorem Show. It's Theorem Thursday. Ugh. Intro's awesome. So it's Theorem Thursday, and today we're going to review this thing. First, though, we're going to say hello to everybody in chat, and we're going to have a morning vape, and we're going to say hi. It's about 6:05, 6:06. At about 6:15, we're going to, maybe 6:20, we're going to start the review in earnest. Let me see who's in chat. Viewing active users. We got a bunch of people. Hey, Mike, Mr. Cobofire, Orbital Vaping headquarters, whoever that is. Fixed and Focus. Hey, T25 RC William, Vaping for Beginners, WTF. Hey, Skeletor. Hope you guys are all doing great. Excuse me, I had to clear my throat there. And let's see. Let's try to turn this thing on. Anybody chatting? Hi, everybody. Good morning. So, a few little business things. You know, you guys have seen the new Rouleau RX200S, right, with the big screen? Gonna have to get us one of those. Everyone's also talking about that limitless RDA. So I've just got the chat up. Look, we got 225 RC, Kevin Hanford, Mr. Cobra Fire, yeah. Mike Pavia, great to see you. Fixed and Focus. My sound is not right. What's wrong with my sound? I'm glad you told me that. I love hearing that my sound is not right because that means I can fix it. I think I fixed it. It's too loud. And what happens is the system decides to up the volume level on the control panel when I set it at the source at a certain percentage. So good morning, everybody. I'm just vaping some brother from another mother, my DIY on the Theorem here, and I'm using my new coffee cup. Look, guys, like coffee. Too many bright lights in here. Like coffee. Ooh, and if you hear more than one voice, that means I'm screwing up. That means I have it playing somewhere. I hear multiple voices. Maybe you're crazy, my friend. That wouldn't be right. I don't think there's more than one thing playing. It's just you guys and me. Yeah. Delicious. I'm drinking some delicious Cafe Vita with my light coffee. By the way, this reminds me, if you guys like these videos, don't forget to mash the like button, but most importantly, subscribe to these videos, and you'll get updates. Today, we have the review of the Theorem, which is going to be really cool. And then next week, more VapeAM, Vaping Dawn to Dusk this coming Saturday, and Skeletor Show Wednesdays, which is Coffee and Clouds. Skeletor Vapes. It's really cool. He did a bunch of impromptu reviews yesterday and told more about his temperature control on his Stovepo. Yeah, I think I fixed the sound. So, for those of you watching on the giant screen TVs, I stuck a giant chat on there so you can see what you're saying. That's kind of fun. So yeah, besides the Rouleau RX200S, which I want one of, and the Limitless Tank, which I want one of, which is the same flavor as the review we're doing today on the Theorem, which we'll get to in just a minute. You know, it's the same kind of like looking back to the origin style deck. And I want one of those things. And also don't forget the Kron review or Charon review or Sharon review that Luke just did. Luke, Polish Vapes UK. Go check out Polish Vapes UK on YouTube and he'll tell you what's going on. So I'm going to have a vape. I'm vaping this. It's about a 0.51 on my Noisy Cricket. And it's a 4mm 5-wrap. Clapton flat wire. It's a flat wire with a Clapton wrapped around it. And it's pretty good. It's okay. Hey, Joe. You better turn your theorem around. Ba 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 ba. Hey, Joe. Okay, let's see. It said you guys might be experiencing some kind of stuttering, but I hope not. Things look okay right now. I hope you're not. So tell me, what are you guys doing? I see Owen, I see Bloodbath 91N, which I'm sure I'll figure out how to pronounce that better. It's great to see you. First time I've seen you. I'm glad you came. Totally great. And for those of you who just tuned in, it's VapeAM. I'm Juicy Jones. It's Orbital Vaping headquarters, and today we're reviewing the Theorem. And it'll be just about 6:20 a.m., 15 minutes into the video. And I'll put little markers on the descriptions for those of you who are watching the replay later for you to get in. Everybody in chat is talking about Jimi Hendrix songs. Hey, Joe, that's awesome. So that's killer. And there's April Miller. She just joined us. Nice to see you. Vaping for Beginners, Orbital Joe, Owen, William, Ryan Berman, Kevin, everyone. Great to see you. I tell you, I'm dragging this morning. I was working on getting my shit together right before the show started, and I'm so glad Mr. Cobra Fire just reminded me that another thing we got to talk about just briefly is that the FDA regulations are being announced just as of about half an hour ago until now, and we should all be tuned into that. What I'm going to do is wait, just like Not Blowing Smoke told me to do. They said wait and go to fdaregs.info. fdaregs.info. That's the URL you want to go to. And they're going to have an update about the new FDA deeming regulations. And they said that they're going to summarize what they're saying right now. So you guys stay tuned in for that today. That's definitely going on as we speak. But sadly, it's going on exactly during my show when I was getting ready, so I couldn't pay any attention to it yet. And besides, I'm going to wait until it's all elapsed, and so I can go read it and consume it and see what's going on. And so a few people in chat are talking about some juices that they're into. That's killer. I love it. What else have I been talking? I've been vaping on this liquid sky juice, which we're going to do a review of soon. And all this AZ swag sauce. In fact, today we're going to use AZ swag sauce for the testing. Most of it anyway, because it's 0. And I've been using my 1.5 DIY, mainly because I know the exact taste of them. And I've been swapping out between this and the avocado. It's pretty cool. Morning vape, morning coffee. I want everyone to tell me that they're drinking coffee, if you are at least. I hope you are. Vaping for Beginners just got a coupon for that iJoy RDTA from sourcemore.com for $21. Coupon code JY41. And it's slow boat from China, but that's good. So that's killer. That's super good. Got to get one of those. That's killer. And Orbital Joe says California banned public vaping today, but we got to verify that. I don't know if that's true or not. I hope not. We'll have to check that out in the news. There we go. Skeletor is drinking Cafe Vita too. I sent him some. Although don't forget it's Vita with 1 T, my friend. Delicious. I actually got 2 new coffee cups. I got the light coffee cup, which I think is hilarious. And I got my new cup. It's full, so I can't really, I have to be careful. Liquid Sunshine with a Space Needle on it. Liquid Sunshine cup. My girlfriend and I were out yesterday getting our Captain America tickets. Anybody else going to Captain America, by the way? Because that's going to be exciting. Ryan Berman asked for the best price on the Goon and Copper, and the best price I've seen is the retail price of $65. That's what I paid. It's worth every dime, honestly. That's the Goon is killer, but we all got to save $1 if we can. So smart. Maybe it'll go on sale when the black one comes out. But that'll be soon. That's great. Kevin Market says he mainlines coffee. That's right. It's an important part of our show. In fact, that's why I need these first few minutes, is to drink a little coffee and chat with you guys and then get into the meat and potatoes of what we're doing, which is cool today that we're actually doing something. I think it's pretty fun. Let's see. Skeletor in chat says that he's going to go make a third cup of coffee. Yum. So I'm going to, what's cool about all of these things is that you can use them as drippers too, so easily. So that's what I'm going to do while we're sitting here vaping. I can do that because we're about to take this thing apart, all of us together. I'm going to open the box for you, going to give you a little review, tell you what I think. We're going to talk about a little bit about the history of this kind of atomizer. And I want to remind you guys to share these broadcasts with your friends. Tell people about Orbital Vaping Headquarters, our little tiny baby network. And we're adding shows. We're going to add some new stuff pretty soon here. We're really excited to announce. And I just get really excited about all that stuff. Oh, yeah. More vaping, please. Clouds. A lot of clouds. So, if you guys don't follow us on Instagram, I'm at Instagram at JuicyJonesHQ and on Twitter at JuicyJones. And I want to remind everybody also to follow Badass Vapor on on Twitter, and also Vaping for Beginners on Twitter. I'm sorry, Vaping Beginners on Twitter too, because they both have killer Twitter feeds with all kinds of great stuff. And Bloodbath 90 and 91N says he only has Rockstar this morning, or Monster, sorry. I drink Rockstar, same thing. That stuff is perfectly fine. Oh, somebody needs to put their phone on silence, and it's me, because I haven't done it. So tell me, what are you guys doing this morning? Are some of you guys building? Some of you guys at work? Some of you guys traveling? Anybody on your phone? I can't wait to get started on this Theorem thing. I love all of these old Origin style, or these new Origin style tanks. So it's pretty cool. And I'm always curious about any of you guys own some of these. I know a lot of you guys own avocados like I do, and a lot of you, and I own all 5 of these, but some of you guys must own the Theorem too. I know at least B-Man's got one, and maybe James Reeves also has one, I think so. And later on we're going to call I think we're going to call James Reeves and talk to him about his Theorem as well after we're through with the review. Yeah, let's see. So somebody's saying they like my orange Shimog. I like it too. This is a pretty cool one. Thank you very much. I'm gonna get one in every color, and if I can find them in bright green, like I love, you know, my green, then I'm gonna buy a bunch and maybe turn them into official Juicy Jones Shimogs. That'd be fun. Kind of like my Nuve mod. Kind of. Yeah, it's going to be a nice morning. The weather in Seattle is nice. And it's been not as warm, thank God. Everybody says vaping, they said. Looks like Vape King Brian has got his Theorem as well. He's got his notch coils. Yeah, totally. And that reminds me, that's funny, when I made the overlay for the cons, I forgot one thing. You just reminded me, interestingly enough, right? Yeah. So that's so nice. Anybody find any good new juice this week out there? Anybody? I bet somebody did. I think that after I review the swag sauce and the liquid sky juice and the Nubla vapor, then we're going to be on the prowl for another good line to review. That'll be kind of fun. Just got to go to 600 here in this thing. I actually had to add something to my overlay. That's the reason why there's a little bit of delay here. Sorry guys, a little awkward on my part. All my fault. Yeah. There we go. And Ryan Berman says that the limitless tank is he thinks it's going to kill the Theorem and the avocado. I don't agree, actually. I'm dubious. I'm very dubious looking at it. To me, they violated one of the founding precepts, or one of the key precepts to the reason why this new gen of tanks works. And I will discuss that just a little bit, and the other tanks just in the beginning. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and someone got some someone says King's Crest is a good line to look at. Eden. Owen Ginter is vaping Eden. It's papaya, mango, pineapple, strawberry undertone. I'm curious if it's sweet enough, I would like it. It's interesting. Yeah. And yeah, we'll talk about the notch coil for sure. For sure, my friends. Yeah. So, all right. Then what is it? 6:20? It's time. It's time to start the review. Let's do it. I'm going to turn off the chat. Not that I don't love you guys. I love all you guys. Let's talk about the theorem. Boom! Theorem time. That's it. Right there. Let's just talk about some general stuff first. The theorem is an atomizer that has just come out, just maybe a couple of months ago. And just some of the mechanical specifications and stuff you guys can look at over here as far as sizes and what comes in the box and everything. And we're going to do a breakdown where I'll open the box and show you. And we're doing a build of doing the wicking and everything. But I just want to make sure you guys can see some of the data if you want to. Because I'm just going to talk here for a second, then we're going to go down and look at it, and then I'll tell you what my pros and cons are, what the positives and negatives are. I may even tell you the positives and negatives first, and then go down and do the build. Not exactly sure. So the theorem is, you know, a little history of atomizers is necessary here just to get started. And part of it is that in the old days, we had this thing called the Origin. And the Origin was a really cool atomizer that had super great taste, but was really, really hard to build. And because the wicking was difficult, and you would put it had the tank on the bottom, it had a single coil on top across 2 posts and a 1 or 2 hole airflow hole, and then down at the bottom you could do 2 dual coils as well in verticals, and it would go down via stainless steel or cotton inside stainless steel down into the bottom and wick up into it. And they're legendary for low wattage flavor. And but then the K-Fun came out, and most of the modern sub-tanks that we use are based on the K-Fun deck, which is just 1 hole in the middle and then 2 posts on either side. And if I get any details wrong here, you guys can just correct me in the comments down there. I'm sure I will as we go along, because this is live and I'll get to edit. Sometimes I just misspeak or forget something. So these were really cool atomizers, but for me, the K-Fun style is slightly easier to build on. But as of the last 6 months or so, people have gone back and re-released new versions of these where they've tried to redesign them a little bit so that they work with modern decks and with and they're easier to build, and we can put bigger builds on them and the stuff we like, and you can wick with cotton. And so they focus on wicking with cotton. So the Theorem is indeed one of these decks, exactly. And they all share some characteristics. And you guys have seen my avocado review, which was sterling. And what they are is that the deck is on top, separated by just holes in the deck that you put the cotton through, and then you wick in the bottom by filling it through there. And the nice thing about it is that your liquid doesn't get hot when you vape. It only gets hot from here up, and it also doesn't get your mod hot. And they have better flavor than other tanks. Plus, they should be easier to build on because the deck is on top, and they should be easier to fill, at least occasionally. Well, not easier to fill than some tanks, but it is classic top fill. And you'll see this one has a hole right there to fill through. And we'll get to all that stuff here in just a few moments. So, since they came out, we saw the Fody. I'll go back down to my desk view and just show you guys some of the different ones that have come out. So, what we've seen come out is the Fody from H Cigar, which you guys have seen me talk about, the Haze Dripper, a clone of a Velocity called the Evogo Velocity that has a 1.5 mil tank on the bottom, and of course, my favorite, the Avocado, and then now we're seeing the Theorem as well. And we're going to see the Theorem working, we're going to see the Theorem alongside the Avocado and the new limitless tank made by iJoy, which we'll be getting really soon. And so these all share the characteristic of keeping the liquid good in the bottom. It's cooler. It doesn't heat up your mod as much. The flavor is usually better because your mouth is right next to the coils, but they have some limitations. They're all prone to a lot of spitback problems, some turbulence, and you tend to have like fussy kinds of wicking that you have to do. And one of the classic problems is that people wick these things way too long. And like even from the factory, you notice this thing came with a wick that wrapped all the way the hell around here on both sides. Like when you put e-liquid in, it didn't even fill up. It would just sit there. Then you had to wait 4 minutes for it to fill. So that was kind of silly. So now these have come back into fashion because we can put much bigger, much better builds on them, and it's a very nice way to carry flavor around your pocket and be able to basically have the benefits of a little bit of RDA and a little bit of sub-tank. And so I'm totally in love with these. I've bought all of them as they've come out, and so the Theorem is pretty good too. So I'm going to hold back on my opinion of it so far and then just do a super quick unboxing, and then we'll build on it, and I'll tell you what I think as we do that, because I just want to get back on the desk here real quick and just show you guys just slightly what exactly you get when you get this thing. And it also has a notched coil, which of course there's been much talked about, which we're going to put one of these in for you guys to see. They're super easy to pin. Come on, focus. That's the notched coil that it comes with. Bam. And too much wick, like crazy. It comes with spare glass and also a spare tanky glass. And this little guy right here is a piece of glass surrounded with a piece of metal. And this makes your Theorem look super sci-fi. It isn't very practical though, because you can't see the liquid level. You have to turn it on its side and rotate it and look at the light. So I never use this, although it does look super cool. It has a dual airflow ring, which I found to be useless. I tried to use this in a variety of ways, and I never found any way I liked that I vaped with that used this. But it does come with that if you want the option. And the atomizer itself accommodates only single coils or dual coils in the front. You can physically put dual coils in the back, but it doesn't really work or wick very well or vape right. And you can use this thing to configure the air to flow in a variety of ways. I found it to be not that useful though. It comes with grubs and O-rings, which is very nice. Of course, you gotta have these. It comes with a little tiny drip tip. I found this drip tip to be completely and wholly inadequate in every single way. So you'll just never use this. It's way too short. And they need to add at least 1 millimeter to this because your lips are touching the hottest part of the thing ever right there. And it's just short. You can see compared to my DHD, the DHD is pretty much perfect. And the DHD is at least 1 millimeter taller, maybe 2. God, maybe 3 or 4. So this is bad. And of course a regular extra glass, and we're going to get to why this is broken, but it's a good thing they include extra glass because you're going to need it. This design is 100% made to break all the time. And it's kind of one of the cons about this thing. I will say that overall, I should say that this thing has decent flavor, but it is a disappointment overall. And there's a lot of little reasons, like a death of 1,000 cuts. And it's going to be obvious as we go through the walkthrough here what it is about this thing that's just so irritating and sub-adequate. So what comes in a box up is not inadequate. It comes with perfectly good stuff and plenty of it. It comes with all the accessories you need, 3 different pieces of glass, even if one is covered in metal, and extra O-rings, screws, a drip tip. So good on them. They really did have a nice package. It comes in a pretty attractive clear box. I wouldn't have minded seeing it. I think it would actually be presented better in an opaque box, to be honest, but this is all fine. It was safe. It looks perfectly good. It tells you everything that's in it on the back. It has a scratch and sniff. This thing was inspired by Matt at Suck My Mod, so he helped give Jaybo feedback while they were doing it and inspired it. There we go. The box is really not that exciting. Is the reason we're not going to go crazy there. But looking at the actual atomizer, yet we shall. So I'm going to pull off my Jaybo, or I'm sorry, my drip tip here. This is my Dat Money drip tip from Double Helix Designs. Love this thing so much. James Reeves gave me that. It's great. And this is the actual theorem itself, right now wicked with this terrible stuff. But as you can see, the first thing I'll show you is the bottom. It's got designed by Jaybo, inspired by SMM, stuck my mod on it, and Wismec logo. But one of the things I like about it is it confused me a little bit because he said that he had not designed this for use with mechanicals like the Noisy Cricket, but I look at it and it's got an enormous protruding 510 with a huge insulator on it. So I've used this in both in my beautiful Nuve mod custom alpha 330 and on my Noisy Cricket with absolutely no problems at all in any way. It works beautifully. So I'm not sure why. One of the things is that there's not really a build that's very good in this thing on the Noisy Cricket, although this build is. I guess there is one, excuse me. So that's kind of strange. So anyway, I like the 510 on this thing. I like the insulator. I like that there's plenty of room on it. I wish it would focus for you. It'd be much easier. What I'll do is just go to manual focus. That's right, Juicy. Don't you remember how to use your own computer? Okay. Sorry, I'm just clicking on the things, trying to make it click the right way I want. Thank you for clicking correctly. And we're going to go to manual focus and then zoom up. There we go. All right. So there is that. And this is the top cap, which is connected to the little block that plugs your airflow for the single coil. And the entire thing comes out. And then that is the fill hole and your build deck. And the build deck is very large and easy to build on. But we're going to get to the great flaw of it. And so this is the airflow control ring. And the airflow control in this thing, in my opinion, is just so incredibly difficult to use and fussy. First of all, in all cases when you use this, your hands are going to be covered in some e-juice. So everything here has no knurling. And it works on a cam, so you have to hold one of these tight and turn the other one. So you turn the small one while you hold the large one, and that can be extremely tricky and difficult while you're trying to also line up the air hole with the top of the atomizer. So on the atomizer, you can see that the airflow hole corresponds to that little space between these posts right here. And so when you want to restrict it open or closed, you've got to unscrew this top thing with no knurling and your slippery fingers, move this to approximately where you want, and then hold it and screw that down. Or you can pull the entire thing out and then do it from behind, underneath. And so I'm just going to do it here. That's about halfway. And then hold it and screw it. And that's probably easier to pull the entire thing out. But then again, don't you wish you could just turn a little ring? It'd be nice, wouldn't it? So this solution is two-handed, slippery, inelegant, junky, turns on you. You didn't realize that it was. It's also not even the half that I wanted exactly. I wanted half. So we're going to keep on adjusting. And you can sort of hold it like this and turn it and look at it. And that works the best. I have a thumb on the large one and my finger holding against that. And I'm looking into the ring. It's hard for me to show you that. So that's probably the best way to do it. But this gets messy. And then you just stick it back in there. So there. Although once I've got it all in. So I have to wipe this off every time I adjust the airflow. But once you do get the airflow for satisfying, it's pretty good. But to do the actual build, here comes part of the pain in the ass of this thing, is that in all cases, you have to get this entire piece of glass off of this thing to get to the deck. And so this thing actually defeats part of the purpose of all of the every time. So it's really not that different than a TFV4 or an aromomizer or a Griffin, except that you can kind of tweak the wicks by looking down in there, and you can see it. One of the things I love about this is that this thing gets super points for style. It's one of the most stylish, hottest looking RTAs ever. I absolutely love the way it looks. It's a giant RTA. It's totally beautiful. but it's kind of a case of things looking good and it not being that great. So it's totally, really, you know, like right now this is really slippery. So I'm going to pull this out. We have to get this out of here. And of course, you're going to try all kinds of things like pressing and sticking your fingernail inside here. This is probably the safest way to do it, but who the heck besides me has a fingernail long enough to do this every time? And for example, my thumbnail doesn't want to do it, and even so, it's a pain. And the fifth time I broke my one piece of glass already. What I'm going to do this time is hope I don't break it. I'm going to attach it to my DNA slightly, lock it, and then take a piece of towel. I'm going to move these RDAs out of the way real quick, just because they're just sitting here. Need you guys to be able to see better. Take this towel and then just try to pull this off gently. And I'm pushing with this thumb against this hand on the other side to try, and I'm just trying to grip with my right hand. And you have to be just gentle, and it's such a pain. And the whole time, you're just wondering if it's going to break again. Oh, and it came out gently. But part of the reason I'm using the towel is the towel breaks the momentum. And so I just barely turned and pulled and pushed with my thumbs against my hands and pulled my hands apart slightly, and it comes out. But man, I tell you, you have to be so careful with this. And of course, it has to be empty when you do that, because when you pull this off, all the juice comes out. So make sure that it's empty. And that means that re-wicking it, one of the nice things about most of these other ones, the avocado especially, is that if you want to re-wick it, it's quite easy, because you can just pop it off and fiddle with it if it isn't perfect. But this one, unfortunately, you have to completely empty it. And that means that you got to like open it up and drain it out, pull the wicks out, drain it out, and then pull the glass off. And so it loses usability points right there for just being a pain in the ass. I'm going to put this on my empty tug box just to build on. Or actually, maybe the DNA was a better height. I'm going to leave it on there. I just wanted to make sure it was loose. Once you do that, it gets real tight on there. So now we can actually build on this deck. Let me change my focus again. Hello, focus. Just want you guys to be able to see the deck. Yeah, that's just about right, isn't it? Cool. Okay. There we go. And somebody pointed out that I need one of those wooden atomizer holders. Yeah, it'd be cool, like the big things. That'd be totally great. So now that we've got it apart, though, here's when we can actually build on the deck. And I give this thing real big negative points for general usability, in as much as like it only works really once you've got it perfectly set up. Getting it set up is a pain in the ass, because making little tweaks is a pain. No less of a pain than any other big RTA, which is one of the reasons I like the avocado, is that it's much less of a pain to work on than any of these other ones. And so, but I gotta say, once you get the deck opened up, it works great. I mean, the deck itself is so freaking easy to build on. You're not gonna have any problem. There's not even really much of a point in doing a huge tutorial, because you simply won't. You can put dual verticals in this. You can put all kinds of huge coils. The one thing I gotta say is that the deck is asymmetrical. So if you look at it right now, we're looking at, I'm going to pop this coil up. Right now we're looking at the deck. There is more distance in the front of the deck than the back, and that's because they intend for you to build coils in the front, even if you build verticals. So if you build dual verticals, you got to put one here and one here, and that works perfectly fine. It's easy to do. It's the first thing James Reeves did, but on the back, that's for airflow and for filling. And you can physically put a coil here and try to put a vertical wick in it or whatever, but it's going to be uneven wicking and weird, and it's smaller, and it's just not going to, believe me, it doesn't work. It's going to be very mediocre. So, and there's no point, because the front of the deck is great. This is basically a single coil atomizer, though, in case anyone's asking. It's generally basically a single coil. And I haven't made any decisions about what to put in here, by the way. One of the things I like about this is that it's a 4mm coil. It's absolutely gigantic. This thing is 4mm, huge. And I actually like it. I think what I'll do is I'll put the notch coil back on because this 4mm one tastes good and it's fine. And then maybe in a second we'll put this thing back on after we do the notch coil. Or maybe we'll build something else. I really don't like the notch coils. They're very, very bad. Very bad. I know you guys want to see these though. That's the notch coil. It's stainless steel. It came with one built on the atomizer and then this one with it. And it's just a little fixed resistance. I've got the other one right here. I just took it off. It's burnt up for obvious reasons because these are just terrible. These coils are just absolutely horrible. And I burnt that one up because I tried to burn it at real high wattage, but there's just nothing over 60 watts or so that's even remotely decent on these. And even on temperature control, I found the flavor just to be so mediocre and boring, or super burnt tasting. So those are my two choices. I'm kind of like loath to put this in, to be honest. Yeah, in fact, we're not gonna, because it's bad. I don't like these. I'm gonna keep this for a museum piece. Based on my experience with the first one, it's just not worth it. But a big gigantic fatty is. And I recommend, if you get one of these, that you just go ahead and take advantage of the gigantic deck. If you've got the deck, go ahead and use it. This thing is humongous. It's fun. If you decide to pick one of these up, to be quite honest, oops. Oh, hey, there's Thomas Hull in chat. Hey, great to see you. Oh, sorry, Polo65 just smashed his screen. That sucks. So, I'm just wiping this little guy off. We're going to put this little guy back in there. This is a 4mm Clapton. Humongous. It's got a little bit of sugar stuff on it that I haven't scrubbed off. There's my toothbrush for my coils. And there is so humongously huge amount of space here. You can see that on the deck, there's no... One of the reasons why the glass breaks all the time is that when you pull the glass up, it always catches on these things. And so you can see that my broken glass got stressed exactly at that spot. That's the spot that it broke when I pulled it right at this. It's a stress point. So I don't really have too much of a suggestion, but it's a fun idea for this thing to be visible like this and to have the glass be directly on it. But you need an O-ring or something to make it so that you're not having to pop that thing off all the time, because it's an incredibly messy, fussy, annoying thing, in my opinion. Yeah. I'm going to try to do this backwards so you guys can see me. One of the things I like about this is that the top deck, these are huge, they're 2mm, and this thing is a giant, like 5.5mm wide thing that has two posts that screw down, but it's one big wide thing. So if you've got wide builds, they fit in here. Large, wide builds fit in here very well. Very well. This isn't very easy with my my head to the back of the thing. There we go. This is where being recorded, pre-recorded, helps you out much better. Okay. There's not much to do with this since I pre-fit it. I just didn't want to spend tons of time rolling coils and stuff on the show this morning. Oops, I got a big fuzz ball in there from cotton. Let's fix that, shall we? Yeah, I mean, as far as the build deck goes, I got very few complaints about this. I like building on it. What I don't like is getting to the build deck, and that is really the big difference. That's what disqualifies this from being in the same category as the avocado or the avogo or the haze or the foti, is that getting to the deck is a royal pain in the fucking ass. And so they really didn't make it easy on you to do that. I'm just tilting it just a little bit to look down on it. And I've definitely been looking all over the internet too. I haven't looked at anybody else's reviews, but I've been asking people on Instagram and on Twitter and on Facebook about their experiences with these things, and everybody has had the exact same experience. A lot of people have had the same experience I have with the glass. Glass breaking, you can Google that. Glass breaking on these things is what happens. And their design is really bunk for that, unfortunately. And the truth is, if the flavor were better on this, it'd be worth it. But it's not. Not even close. The flavor on this thing is so mediocre. There's one single thing I put on this thing that I thought tasted as... That's not true. Well, yeah, that's true. There's one single thing I put on here that I thought was as good as my avocado. And this build is as close as I've gotten. This 4mm 0.51 Clapton. Black Clapton. It's pretty good. I tried Aliens, I tried Twisted, I tried Parallels, I tried 26, I tried fused Claptons, little ones, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4. Bigger was better. That's where I ended up. Big is better. And I'm looking in chat today. Thomas Hull turned 38. Hey, happy birthday to you, buddy. That's killer. It's time for a quick coffee and vape break. It's 6:48. Oh. I'm Juicy Jones. This is VapeAM. Today we're talking about the Theorem. It's Theorem Thursday. I went over all the specs, talked about the history of the Origin deck and the K-Fun, and the Foti and Haze and Avogo and Avocado, and now the Theorem, and soon the Limitless tank. And now we're doing a build, and I'm just about to wick it, and we're going to fill it up, and I'm going to show you guys how to do the actual good wicking on these guys. And I just stopped to have a cup of coffee and a vape. There we are. And I've got some cotton bacon, which you guys know I love cotton bacon. But I've been using this thing for almost a week straight, and I haven't used anything else. I haven't built or vaped on anything else except my avocado in this thing in the entire week. And this thing, and I'm getting a lot of wicking compared to normal because it's a 4mm. But one of the general rules to wicking this kind of tank where the juice is on the bottom below the tank is that you want to start with more wicking and then trim down. So you put a bunch in, you can thin it out and chop it, and don't start with too little and try to go up, because obviously you just got to redo it. So I think I got maybe, I think that might not be quite enough. I think I'm going to trim this one down. I'm just doing it by feel. Once you do it a few times, you'll figure it out. So yeah, that feels pretty good. Make sure it's stranded. The best technique to use with these is to use something that's been stranded, like cotton bacon, or use the Muji method where you fold the squares, because folding the squares and the Muji method, or having something that's perfectly stranded, I can't stress to you how important that is with these bottom tank atomizers with cotton. You can't just use watered up or poorly groomed cotton. It won't work very well. You'll see either slurping problems or have constant dry hits almost all the time. So yeah, there we go. Now I'm going to put this thing through there. Shouldn't be too hard at 4mm, right? It's not too tough. I'm gonna grab my scissor and just trim so we can talk. And then you'll notice that the stock coils came with a coil that went down like this. I mean, it was crazy. It was so much wicking. It was like that. And that's a huge, huge mistake with these, because one of the operating principles of this is capillary action. And it's not, capillary action does not benefit from having more cotton. It's not, that isn't better. So what you need here is, you need to have the correct amount of cotton. And I'll show you once the glass is on and how important the sides are to this whole equation. In the old days with the origin decks, this is a big difference from the origin decks. In the old days, the origin decks relied on the actual stainless steel in the middle to do the wicking. And here, my method does not rely on just the cotton to do the wicking. It relies on the actual tank around it too, and it wicks much better. And so what we'll do is, we'll just knock this down. You want it to go down and just mushroom. That's what you want. So you want it to mushroom outside when it's wet, and then cut it. And to figure out how much cotton to use, you have to remember that you want the cotton basically on this tank, on the Theorem, you want the cotton to pretty much fill up that cavity right there, because you need it to touch the glass, but you need it not to be dense. So it needs to be loose inside there, but it needs to be, because remember, your cotton will expand as it gets wet. You need to put enough in there so it'll expand a little bit and touch your glass. This will all be quite obvious in a second. So I'm going to cut this again, just getting started. And that I like. Yep, that's good. So we're doing pretty good here. It might turn out to be, depends on how it balloons out. If I have too little volume, then it won't be enough. But if my volume is right, it'll be okay. I'm concerned I may have put slightly too little width in there, but we'll see. It's going to be fine. These things are quite easy once you get the hang of it. But remember, you want relatively short wicks, because remember, what's going to happen here is that this is going to expand to fill the chamber here between these metal pieces in the wall, and the wall itself, when we put the glass on, is going to provide the wicking up to the wick, up to the cotton. And this is extremely important. Putting too much cotton in means you're waiting on capillary action. Capillary action is much, 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 much slower than the stuff just draining up into the wick. And so the natural act of vaping makes this work fine. So as you're vaping, you know, you're going and if you make these short, then what you get is, but sufficient. They have to be sufficiently dense, and they have to mushroom out, and they have to be stranded so that the stuff comes up inside here. So, look what I've got. AZ swag sauce, Cereal Ninja. Yummy! It's pretty good. I'm using a pipette to get this out. And I want to show you guys another flaw. So another flaw, besides the fact that you can't even modify this wick without taking the whole thing apart and draining it and making a mess, that the actual glass itself is going to break on almost every one. That's one reason they gave you three, count them, 3 pieces of glass with the atomizer. And they know it. And they're going to be selling more of these. And another flaw, besides the fact that I can't put a real dual coil in this thing, they gave me the ability to put in a 5 millimeter instead of the ability to put in 3 millimeters, which I would have preferred, even with the same wicking thing. And they had to make it so deep that don't think that this filling is good, because this is a unicorn bottle. It doesn't fit. Unless your juice is 50-50, you're not getting a unicorn bottle in that. It's so irritating beyond belief. And if your juice is thick like this is, it'll just pool up there and it just doesn't work. It's so irritating. Dropper bottles work fine. Of course, dropper bottles work fine. But so what? I use unicorn bottles. This is so last year. Like, what the hell was Jaybo thinking? I'm going to use a pipette, and on the run, I have to use a needle or a syringe. I haven't found the correct bottle for filling this thing on the run yet. Yet another problem with this. It's tough to fill. And don't be fooled either. It only holds 2 mils. It's a 2 mil tank. I measured it. Not a drop more. If you overfill it, it just gets splurty and messy. These things already have overflow problems. It's not a good idea to overfill them. You can a little. Like for example, and you can see the wicking begin. That's how it works. There it goes. And then we just put this guy in there. And I also, to fill this kind of thing, to fill really difficult things to fill, I use syringes and pipettes. So yeah, see, now you can see the actual wicking work. It works beautifully. And you should know that it takes time for this stuff to go up. Remember that it's not gravity, and it's not force, and it's not you vaping on it that makes capillary action work. It's capillary action. It's a different science, and it works differently. So you have to understand that it's, I saw on the iJoy thing, they referenced something about reverse gravity or something, and I was like, what the fuck? Like that must just be a bad translation. But you see it's working very well. As I touch it, you see that underneath it, it's getting wet. So there's stuff going on underneath there we can't see, and it's good. And once you get the liquid trail moving, and once they connect, then it becomes, you know, like quite good, like a connected system. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's killer. Isn't that fun? Won't hurt me to prime it just a little bit. All right. And there we go. And don't forget that we should look at the top cap, which I'll have to wipe off again. The airflow control rings consist of these fussy parts, where if you want to run dual coils, you can unscrew the plug using a Phillips head from there, and then put on the dual control ring. You can also just run the dual control ring as a dual coil that goes inside this plug, and then it comes out this bottom, they say. But I never found any build on this that was any good. I never liked it. I've tried this in a number of ways, and the dual coil ring here only ever made it feel like it was more airy and worse. And this thing already has a flavor problem. So I went back to this, the single coil ring, and I like about halfway or less on this. And as you can see, it's moist. There's all kinds of spit back problems that are not unique to this atomizer. This style always have these characteristics. And so we fit this thing on here and then screw this down and then hope it worked out okay. It didn't, so I have to redo it. I put it on upside down. Lol. I put it on upside down. So we're going about halfway. I'm hoping it's going to work. It did. I'm halfway. There we go. And so we go in there. We're not using their incredibly bad drip tip. I got my DHT drip tip. And there we are. And one of the best things about this, and one of the things I love about this atomizer, is you can see your vape all the time. I absolutely love it. Let's go back at top and talk about it. Yay, we're finally finished with this part. Sorry that took so long. Sorry. So, right now it's still working some of the wetness out of the wicking, because I put this stuff on top, so it's slurpy. They always do that. Every single one of these. And, you know, it's good. Has good vape production. It tastes pretty good. The only build I could get to be good on this is this 4mm build wicked like this. And I tried a variety of juices. I tried 6 or 7 kinds of juice, all compared 1-to-1 with my avocado. I had the same juice and similar builds in the avocado every time, except the avocado had fewer builds in because I was experimenting more with this. And I didn't find anything that was better on the Theorem. Not one thing. And I was so shocked. I thought, I mean, this was supposed to be like the flavor bomb. So I could not believe it. Let's go through the pros and cons of this thing real quick. Theorem positives. So this thing is one of the coolest looking atomizers there ever was. I think that this thing looks so badass. I love the style. I wish I could get different color O-rings. I love seeing my builds. I love putting huge builds in it, which is another pro. I love seeing the wicking. It's like a learning device. I can show people. There's everything about the way this looks I love. I feel like overall the thing is a little bit of a looks over function type of device. But I can't say enough how much I love the style of this device. It looks sci-fi, it looks killer on everything. It looks good on all my devices, on my mechs. And so, you know, good on you, Jaybo, for the way this thing looks. It's amazing. It also has a very easy deck to build on. You saw how the deck was large. And you can put extremely large single coils on there. I'm pro the idea of them focusing on doing single coils with lower watts. This thing works fine on my noisy cricket. This is probably 100 watts, 108 watts. That's well outside the typical build range. But if you build a big fat coil with a high resistance, with enough wicking, it tastes good in the noisy cricket. And it's good also with smaller builds at 40 to 60 watts on your regulated devices. Just great. And I vape this on my regulated boxes at about 60 to 75 watts all the time. And it tastes good. You can put huge things on it, and it's very versatile, and I like that. I'm not a big fan of the deck overall as far as building dual coils. I mean, it's good. I'm not going to criticize it. It's good. Deck's fine. The price is good. This thing is about 30 or 40 bucks, so that's pretty good. Got no complaints about that. This came from VapeAM, and I think they're 30 or 40 bucks, so that's really not a bad price for almost any kind of atomizer. It travels pretty good, I suppose. So the negatives are that it's got mediocre flavor. This thing was supposed to be the flavor bomb, but it's not. There's nothing. I mean, this thing tastes okay. I think that if you didn't own an avocado or the Avogo Velocity, that you would think this is the crazy amazing compared to your other tanks. Like I definitely like it better than my Aromomizer. But I own an avocado, so I'm spoiled, and so this gets bad. It's just not nothing on this is very good because the airflow is strange. Number 2 con, the airflow is strange. It's fussy, it's stupid parts, it's hard to do when you're slippery, it's hard to make little adjustments for people like me who adjust a little at a time. Some people set and forget, and that's fine, but even when you want to go back while you're building and adjust it, it's a pain in the ass. And it also just sort of goes in there and wallows around, and the back airflow, if you put the dual on, is supposed to go through this little plastic thing, and it doesn't really increase the flavor at all, but it increases the airflow, which decreases the flavor too. Another con is the design of putting the tank inside the glass. Terrible idea. You can't make easy adjustments. You can't pop the top off. It lets you look at it, and it's a great thing to look at, but it's prone to breaking, and you're going to warranty a ton of these on that, if you even warranty them. And users are going to cut their hands and shit like that constantly. I broke mine within a couple of days, and I see you have to be extremely diligent and careful with it. And that's just not necessary. It's stylish, but not necessary. And another con is the notch coils. The notch coils are bad. They're bad. They're bad in stainless steel temperature control. They're bad on wattage. They are bad. Cut the wicks, they're bad. Oh, another negative is how they wick it too. But remember how I wick them short. You have to wick them short. Don't wick them the way they come. If you use the notch coils that come with it, cut them. Cut them down a little bit longer than this actually, but so that they just tickle the bottom on the notch coils. RDA type builds need to be wicked like this. But don't put any more in. And the notch coils are adequate if you do that, but I don't like them. And so my overall grade for this one, unfortunately, C+. Let's get to C+. I wouldn't go buy another one if I lost it. I would just forget about it and think back memorably. And I would miss the fact that I can see it, but I would just go buy another avocado. So it's 7 o'clock. This is VapeAM. I'm Juicy Jones. Let me go back to the main thing. It's 7:06. I'm Juicy Jones. This is VapeAM. That was my review of the Theorem Atomizer. We can talk about it some more and call some friends and junk and think about and ask what you guys think also in the chat. But I'm not going to torture you guys with any more of the official stuff, and I'll just link to that later. So I'm going to go back to my chat and see what you guys are saying. You guys have to forgive me because I haven't been reading it, and so maybe you can catch me up or tell me what's going on. I think this RTA is just adequate. It's okay. I don't think I'd rather have this than a Griffin, except for the way it looks. But I didn't really use, you know, this tank right here. And although I did one time, but I found it was tough to see what was in there. You're constantly looking through the light. And so I found this mainly the Theorem to be a head scratcher. I'm very confused how people are claiming that the flavor is as good as they are. And only a few people say that too. I haven't really talked to anybody in person, maybe 2 people on Instagram who said that they thought this was better than an avocado. And I didn't understand. I put in fact, this build was the build that he said was better, and I put it in, and it is better than anything else I put in here, but it's still not as good as my avocado. So interesting. But it travels well except for the filling. So if you solve your filling problem, if you get some solution to fill it on the fly, that's fine. But your regular unicorn bottles won't work. Regular drippers will work, so you know that's fine. So it travels well. You could travel along with this, but to be quite honest, if I had a choice between this and an avocado, of course it'd be the avocado. Very interesting. Yeah. I mean, it's not a complete fail like some of them, but don't love it. Yeah, and the truth is, like, I hate to say it, but even this tank tastes as good as this. And this tank is weird. It's an X tank from Vape Mod that I'll have to review later. But I put a Clapton build in this, dual coil, and it looks funny, but it tastes good. Better than this. This looks. I think I have a suggestion as far as why this thing gets such great reviews. That is that it's endorsed by a couple of real famous guys who have a great reputation, Matt at Suck My Mods and Jaybo, and both of them have good hearts and are meaning the best. I just don't agree with them that this is as good as it is. So I think people might be a little bit less critical than they need to be receiving it. You know, and so I think some people maybe want it to be better than it is. And also, I think a lot of people maybe don't have an avocado, or maybe whatever your favorite thing is that you might like better. For me, it's the avocado. And if that's true, then maybe they don't have something to compare it to that is better. And also, maybe we just disagree. Maybe they just think it's better, and I just don't. So that's the nature of all this junk. I don't think I'm right. I just think that's what it is for me. I was disappointed. But this isn't a judgment on Matt at Suck My Mods or on Jaybo. It's just when I think about the device. Love those guys. They're great. And anyone who likes this thing too is fine with me. It's great. If you like it better than I do, great. Chime in and tell me. Like I said, I met a couple of people who did. I just didn't agree, but it's fine. I have a lot of respect for Wismec and Jaybo and Suck My Mods. So, you know, like I said, it's only my opinion of the device. And it looks good on the Noisy Cricket. I don't agree with them that this is not a good combo. Maybe I should put the sci-fi thing on there. And look, see, it doesn't even, the Noisy Cricket doesn't match anything. It doesn't even match their own freaking thing. The Noisy Cricket they should have used a different it's aluminum, I guess, instead of stainless steel. Oh, good morning, Onyx Windflare. Yeah, he said he was torn between this and the avocado. That's one reason I reviewed this so quickly, too, is that I used nothing but this for a week. And so I did absolutely immersion everything, and I asked dozens and dozens of other people what they were building on it, and I built things like they did. I didn't just do this in a vacuum. I asked dozens of people, and I tried all their stuff, and I finally found one thing I like, and I still came up with that conclusion. It's still kind of a C+. It's like a great effort, but it didn't really work. And I wish I really wanted this to be great. I looked at this and went, oh yeah. So I really wanted it to be better. And I don't think anybody who bought this made a mistake though either. I want to make that clear. This isn't like one of those things you screwed up if you bought. Nope. Nope. It's adequate. And Polo65 in chat says that Mooch put up a post today about the amount of fake LG 3000s that are going on. Good. I'm glad he did. I'm glad. I'm so glad. That's killer. Someone's alluding to how bad the FDA regs are. We gotta go make sure we all watch that. By the way, this is VapeAM. I'm Juicy Jones, and you're in Orbital Vaping headquarters. And we just reviewed the Theorem by Wismec and Jaybo, inspired by Suck My Mods. And I'll pop back to the beginning, and I'll have a link to it. And check it out if you didn't see it yet. And in a second here, I'm going to Skype at least James Reeves and see. Oh, I hit my head on my camera stand, and see if I can't get him to talk to us a little bit about his avocado. I'm sorry, his theorem and what he thought about it. Let's see. We'll get a little bit less formal there later. Look at this. Let me just surprise him. You'd think that he would be right here, of course. Yeah, there he is. Hello, James. Now, I need to know if anybody can hear you in the actual broadcast, because I don't know if they can. I'm afraid my Skype stopped working. Yeah, they can see you. They'll tell us in a second. Yeah, but I'm not getting any desktop audio from you, which is very strange. Let me try something here. I don't know, we'll see. You guys in the audience, tell me if you can hear James, because I want to talk to him about the theorem. And I hope I'm not having technical difficulties, because otherwise I'll just have to do it in semaphore. You know semaphore, don't you, James? You know semaphore, don't you? The Navy flag language? Oh, that's disappointing. Then it won't be easy. If they can't hear you, it won't be easy. If you don't know semaphore. They can't hear you, and I can't fathom why. That's strange. Yeah, it is weird, because this was just working like Tuesday. Let's see. Try saying something now.
Something now.
Oh, I think they can hear you now. I may have fixed it. Okay, so let's talk theorem, baby.
All right, let's talk theorem.
So you had a similar experience that as I did on your theorem, right?
Yep.
Like you weren't extremely stoked with it.
I was extremely stoked when I got it.
Yeah, you were excited.
First thing I did, I took that notch coil out. I didn't want to do the notch coil. I put 2 vertical Claptons in it. Mm-hmm. Wicked it up, juiced it up, vaped on it. Crap. Vaped on it for about 3 hours, about a whole tank. It worked. I did not like the verticals. Changed to just a regular Clapton, horizontal Clapton. Did not like that at all. The flavor was still way off. Put a stainless steel build in. Put it on temp control.
Right on.
Did not like it. By the way, I've tried most all of those with the top airflow and the back airflow open and closed, except for the verticals. I didn't do the top airflow and the verticals because that would be kind of weird. Then I put a fuse Clapton, just a regular 6-rep 28 gauge fuse Clapton in, just the back airflow. So far, that's been the best build. Decent flavor. It gets really hot though.
Yeah, it gets
At
insanely
50
hot.
watts, it gets really, really hot.
But you know, I
I'm
don't think
afraid
it
I'll
gets
break the
hotter than.
glass.
I don't think it gets hotter than the other ones.
Mine does.
I don't really. I mean, hotter than your avocado. Have you? My
Yes.
avocado gets hot.
My avocado doesn't get that hot.
Mine does. But I've noticed that a lot of these top ones get super hot. But, you know, obviously the nice thing is that the bottom never gets hot. Like, people don't realize that one benefit is that your mod doesn't burn up. And you don't get heat transfer to the batteries from the thing.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing about these getting real hot is we're using such a big diameter coil. It holds heat a little bit better.
Yeah.
But
you probably can't break the glass because it takes at least 1400 degrees to break the glass. To even make it deform, and
or when you take it off.
Well, when you take it off, 100%. Yeah, exactly. Like every time you take it off, I see a lot of people are making a lot of apologies for the theorem. A lot of people are like, well, this and this and this and this, and they mitigate every complaint. But the truth is, you know, I'm good at this shit, and I find it extremely fussy and annoying to work on.
Let's see if I can get this off without breaking it. Hey, look there, I did. Okay. I don't know if y'all be able to see this or not, but right here, right there, is 2 little chip spots from where it actually hit. Boop, right there.
Yeah, it's too easy. It's too easy for that to happen.
This glass off.
Yeah, it's too easy for that to happen. Unfortunately. I wish it were going to be different. And you've what?
The metal cover.
I like the metal cover, but it's difficult to tell. It's difficult to tell how much liquid's in there.
Yes, it is. I kind of like it better.
It looks amazing.
What I don't like about the metal cover is when they glued the glass into the metal cover, they didn't put any glue on the very bottom, which I kind of understand why, just in case if you need the little extra flex. But it flexes. It's so cool. Like I can pull the top down.
Yeah, it's
far
like
enough. You can see the bottom of the glass.
It's like the notch coil. That's actually a very good idea because that means that it accommodates any mod. Like if it sits down or up inside the mod, it can move half a millimeter. That's really smart, actually, for a decorative thing, and it does look extremely good. I mean, I got no cons at all for the way this thing looks. It looks absolutely fantastic. It's just not worth. It's just not worth it.
Of a lean to it, also, that I can tell.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Paul, you got to rewind and watch the replay, buddy, because that's we just reviewed it. Oh, we said all that stuff you said.
Yep.
Or I guess I said it. There was no we. This is me now.
For me, the airflow is a little bit weird. I don't like you know, the same things you don't like. I don't like having to spin the top. Other than that, it's the airflow is a little weird. But it's okay. It's not a complete dud. It's with this build in it, it's okay. I will say that I have not tried the notch coils yet.
I have in a variety of ways, and they're terrible. Terrible.
It's got way too much cotton in it. Like when I first opened it, the amount of cotton they packed inside the coil, not just the length of it, but the amount of cotton inside the coil, will give you fits with dry burning because it's so tight inside.
And I warn everybody, be excited about that limitless RTA, but don't be excited. Don't start thinking you're going to buy one until you either experiment with how it works or someone tells you that it's not gross, because I'm telling you, it violates one of the rules of what makes these work with cotton. It's too tall. So maybe so, but I can tell you right now that you can never open it unless it's half empty, and cotton that long is not practical for wicking. Stainless steel is, but nobody wants to be able to stainless steel anymore. The whole point behind these is to not use stainless steel.
Yeah. But it's okay.
I miss pictures of Paul's beard. I need to go look at his Instagram some more. I'm just not sure about that limitless. I think that it's going to be a dud. That's my or it's going to be mediocre, because that length is just wrong. The idea of, hey, let's just add more tank to these things. That's what we had before, and that's why they had stainless steel wicks. You can get an origin, you know what I mean? That it isn't as simple as just, there's something interesting in this industry that people truly don't understand. Capillary action. They really don't. They don't understand capillary action. Capillary action is a different kind of scientific theory and application property than the electrics and all the other stuff. And it's not just, you know, magical click, touch, and flow. It involves rates and widths and times and air and all kinds of other stuff. And so the physics of why some of these work better than others is quite clear if you accommodate capillary action correctly into your thinking. But if you don't, then this is my prediction that limitless one is just too tall. You know, if you use stainless steel of it, it's great. But if it's that tall and it's sealed and you tilt it, it's going to be a lot of tilting. And if you put long wicks in it, you're just going to have to wait for the wicks to drain when it's dry, and that's going to take forever, and you're going to get dry hits in the interim because you got all used to vaping on your 80-watt thing with big clouds. So I'm skeptical, but I can't wait for us all to get them, because obviously we're all going to get them and try them out and stuff, and then debate about that too. The Theorem is you know, they kept it small too. That's a 2 mil tank, and the Haze is a 1.5 mil tank, or a 2 mil tank. The Evogo is a 1.5. The Avocado is a 2.5 mil tank, or 3, I forget.
Depends on how much cotton you stuff in it.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about no cotton, and it's funny because I measured I measured the liquid I could put into this thing with the cotton the way they came from the factory, and it was like 1 mil, 1.2 mils, and the rest was just cotton sitting there, and I had to wait. And the wicking was absolutely insane. I got so many dry hits, dry hit, 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 dry hit.
Too much cotton.
Dry hit, yeah. Because I gave it a chance. I'm not, you know, I know better than to think it would work by looking at it, but I wasn't about to just not give it a shot at all, you know? Yeah.
Yes.
So I know that some of you guys have theorems, and I know that some of you guys have avocados, and thank you guys all for tuning in, chiming in to tell me what you thought about these guys. We got probably another 15 or 20 minutes, maybe. I should look and see. Awesome. Oh yeah, everyone's talking about the new deeming regulations. We're probably going to have maybe a whole Q&A show just on that. That's crazy sauce. I've
been checking that out every once in a while.
It's bad. Apparently vaping
I haven't seen it yet.
Vaping is tobacco, and they're going to keep the insane restrictions on the 1,500 days of, or hours rather, of testing or whatever it is. What is that number exactly? I need to have that clarified.
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
And then Paul is saying he's going to have to show us the mesh combo cotton wicking method, and the answer is I don't want to know. The whole point behind these is not to do that. And if you buy me an Origin and then show me that, yeah. But I've decided that they designed these specifically to not do that, and no one wants to do it anymore. And it is an interesting look back in the past, and it's fun to have known how to do that, but it's totally irrelevant for the future. Because to be quite honest, I've vaped on those, and the flavor is not that much better than the avocado.
No,
it's
avocado's
good.
got really, really good flavor. It's amazing.
It's very good, but it's not that much better. And I know saying that, a lot of people are going to go, and snap their fingers and unsubscribe and all kinds of stuff. But that's just what I think. I think it's good, but not worth the trouble. But I do look fondly on the past about that stuff. I kind of would like to do it, except that I have no time to learn how to do that. I'm already learning fused Claptons and going to make aliens, and it's like, when does it end? Because, you know, there's going to be another Origin deck every year, them updating it, but the way people are updating that design is they're updating them to use cotton. Now, I'll tell you what's useful, Paul. If the Limitless deck by iJoy needs stainless steel, you should figure out if it works on there. In fact, you should figure out if it works on, no, it won't work on the Theorem. The Theorem is designed for cotton. Anyway, I got totally off track there. I just started rambling, whatever was in my mind. Forgive me. Sometimes I just say everything that's in my head, no matter what. Now, Paul can do anything. Is there anything Paul can't really do?
No.
There's not really anything I can think of that he can't.
No, Paul can do it all.
Yeah, he could like make, like if we were on a desert island, I wouldn't even worry about what I brought with me because he could probably make us something
Oh.
that would be
What do you
perfectly.
bring on a desert island? Paul.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I'd take with me.
exactly. Paulzilla X, that's what I would take. Because whatever was laying around, whatever was left over from the plane wreck or the boat, he'd turn that into vapes for us.
Yep.
He'd find some tobacco seeds in a pack of cigarettes, you know, something. Like he'd be like, yes, we're saved.
Not only that, but everything else too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 100% chance. Yeah. So Paul is asking, someone's asking about the Pico Libre. He likes it. Good. I'm interested too. Yeah. So it's been a nice morning. I don't want to make it sound like I don't like the theorem, but I'm disappointed by it. You know, it's kind of like when your own child ends up being a armed robber. It's like you still love him, but you wish it'd been different.
Yep. Damn drugs, bad for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing, but it's okay.
Yeah, totally.
I did bring one of those fake LGs with me today to show you.
Oh, good. Let's see it.
I don't know how good this is going to work. Let me get a good one.
This is one of the ones Mooch is complaining about.
Yeah. Yeah, so I posted a picture in the store, or in the group. We got a bunch of them in the store. I should have had this out, but I totally forgot. All right. So one of these is real, one of these is fake.
Okay.
All right. They both have the 4 posts at the top.
The PMMA ring, right?
Mm-hmm. They look almost identical. Let's see if I can get in close to where you can actually see this. All right. This battery here looks totally different when you look at it close on the top. The top ring is really, really wide. If you do it like this battery here, the white ring is really smooth and shiny. This one is actually coarse and it is not shiny. It's like a matte.
Okay. Which one's authentic?
This one right here.
The coarse matte one?
The coarse matte one is the authentic. This is authentic.
Right on.
This one on this side is not. So you can actually kind of see the difference in the top also.
Yeah, it's a matte finish.
Yep, the matte finish. This one right here also is like where the posts come down, it's more squared. This one is almost completely round.
Shiny ring is fake.
Yep, shiny ring is fake. This one actually has texture to it. When you put your finger across it or your fingernail, it'll actually scrape. This one is just glides really smooth.
Nice to know. I'm so glad.
That's what he's talking about.
That's good to know. I'm so happy to say I don't have any fake ones, but
on this one right here, this little spot right here where the top cap puts actually onto the battery is really, really, really wide, and there's nothing there. This one is teeny, teeny, tiny, and it's got ridges in it.
Right on.
Let's see if I can get it that way. It's really hard to tell with my lighting, but yeah. And then plus this one also comes with a sticker that says 2600 mile.
Right. Is that the fake one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the ones we had that are fake say 2600 no matter what they are.
Hey. Figures.
Yep.
So just to recap, by the way, you guys go to fdaregs.info, and Casaa says they'll update us after they go through those regulations. There's no update on there right now, but keep that bookmarked. That's where they're gonna announce whatever their analysis is, and they'll tell us who to complain to, or what is bad and what's not in it, what we can live with. They'll help us. So, all right. Maybe we should, let's call Skeletor and see how his show went yesterday. I'm cheating, I know how it went. Kind of cheating. Yay! See what he's doing. What's happening, Jackson?
Cracking.
What's going on?
Chilling.
Oh, hey, Big Natty Vapes. Big Natty Vapes came. Hey, good morning to you.
Okay.
Hey, Natty.
Quick question.
What's up?
Real quick. I typed it in the chat, but I didn't get a response yet. But is the way to tell the fake LG turds, is that like something that's across the board for all LGs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I've got some HE4s and some HE2s and the HG6s that are all the same. They're the exact same battery. They just got a yellow wrap, a red wrap, and a brown wrap.
All right. Let me.
Yeah, these are definitely authentic, the ones I've got here.
I know my browns are authentic, but now that I have the answer that it's for all LGs, let me check my yellows while I'm here.
Yeah, that's great info.
Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, good.
Yeah, if you can.
I don't have any LG reds anymore.
You know, this is one of the reasons why I don't mind that Mix Joe just rewraps LG doo-doo browns, because at least they're rewrapping the actual batteries. And so, you know, believe it or not, these Mix Joe two-tones are at least those batteries if you're going to use them.
I like the Mix Joe two-tones, to be quite honest.
I mean, they literally, it's one way of knowing you have an authentic LG battery, which is because it is an authentic LG battery. They're not, as far as I know that last year they had some problems with those other Mix Joes.
They are. They're not A-bin, but they're actual LGs.
Yeah. They're not A-bin, the one that you get access to, James, in that cardboard box of ears in your trunk.
Yeah, right. Those are like Z-bin.
I thought they were double A-bins.
Those are clearance bin batteries.
Yeah, the clearance bin. They buy them for 25 cents a piece and then resell them to everybody for $6 a piece.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I've got some batteries on the charger. I should check my Bluetooth charger and see where they're at. That is, if it's working.
Well, at least I know all the LGs that I have now are real.
You do?
Yeah, they are. All of my LGs that I have are real. I only have 3 doo-doos and 3 yellows. So, but yeah, that's definitely a good thing to know. It's funny, the LG browns that I have, they're actually not mine. They're a buddy of mine. And he saw Mooch's release yesterday, and he called me up immediately. He's like, dude, I need you to send me a picture of the top of my LG turds. I'm like, okay. So I sent him a picture of the top, and of course the flash was on, so he couldn't tell.
Oh, and sorry, the flash is on.
Yeah, right.
Sorry, can't help you. Can't help you with that. Yep. Sorry, flash is on.
At all.
Polo 65 is right. They are. He did rate them at the fake LGs at a 10 amp battery, which is not surprising.
Wow, 10 whole amps?
10 whole amps.
That's incredible power at our disposal. I think the FDA would regulate that because it's so powerful, you know?
Right.
Like,
oh my
how
God,
did we...
It's just like so awful.
Yeah, that's disgusting. I actually did... No, you know, I did have some of those one time, but it was clear as a bell. Like the second time I used them, pressed the button rather, that they were fake. So I gave them away to somebody who had like a DNA or had like an iStick 30 or something. No, it was like a iStick 30. They have a built-in battery. It was like somebody who had like a Kanger box or something. I was like, here you go.
Like a Kanger.
For a Kanger box or like a Sigeli 30 watt.
Yeah,
or something
it was
like that.
somebody who vapes it at 20 watts. I gave it to them. I'm like, yeah, you'll never know. And by 225RC, good morning to you. He's taken off. And Ryan Berman says he runs them in his mechs too, but they're authentic HB6s. I run HB6s in my mechs. That's what I have in the Noisy Cricket right now. They're probably almost dead. They have so few ma.
Yeah, the HB6s are and the HB4s are the only thing that are running mech mods.
I run the HB6s, and I run my Home Tech homework batteries all the time. They have a lot of ma. They're 2,500 ma. This is really nice.
I run this bad boy in my mechs.
The perp?
The E-Fest.
Yep.
What is
2100.
5,000 mAh, 60 amp battery?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, right.
Of course.
I'm gonna need 3 of those to put in my Spartan box mod.
with
What
the fucked
eFesh,
up wrap on the positive. That's
what eFesh
exactly
should
how
do
I
is
run
change
it.
that purple wrap to red wrap, and then on the side instead of eFesh, it should say eFesh Dynamite Edition.
Dynamite.
TNT.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Dynamite.
I think I'm gonna do that. I think when I rewrap them, because I use the eFest actually for well, this one I use for my 521 tab because I don't fire on it, and when I rewrap it, I'll rewrap it like a stick of dynamite just for you, James.
Awesome. I've actually thought about doing that, getting some clear wraps and just printing out some like dynamite things and putting it under the clear wrap and then shrink
good
it
idea.
over.
They are. I've got like 100 of them right here.
Nice.
Yeah, and you know another thing that I don't find myself doing on my Noisy Cricket is, I'm sorry, on my Theorem is 108 watts and enjoying it. I just don't. It's like nothing over 70 or 80 watts is ever any good in that thing. I don't mind low watts, but it just, even on a big build, it just doesn't really impress.
Either that or printing out an actual eFest wrapper and then wrapping all of my batteries as eFest just to freaking
Yeah.
That would be epic, dude.
That's actually a good idea.
Absolutely epic.
As long as you know the difference, it would be really funny to get like the worst wraps ever. Or maybe even we could do some Photoshop wraps that look completely worn out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a picture that looks completely fucked up with rust and a cut in it and everything, and then put that inside there. And people are like, what the? Oh, no, they're fine.
That would be awesome. See if you can superimpose some bubbles in there.
Yeah. Yeah, just the look of it. Like it's been, that'd be funny.
Yes.
That'd be funny.
And then down the side where the split would be, you can make it look like there's a wick running down the side of it.
Yeah. Or a copper thing sticking out, a coil. Liquid sunshine, baby.
I've still got my dollar bill ones.
Those are good.
Dollar bill, y'all.
Yeah. I'd like to get some like Armenian money or something. That'd be cool.
I've got some Iraqi money.
That's cool.
They're cool.
That's what I'll do. I'll rewrap it in the Iraqi money that I have. I have a couple of bills that have Saddam Hussein on the face of them still. Dollar bill, y'all.
Dollar bill.
My OA game is slightly improving. You guys will see that in the replay.
So you've been working on your O face.
Oh yeah, and Robbie says don't forget black stains for the burns and arc marks and stuff. Yeah, the dollars look good.
Yeah, they're serialized too.
Too bad you can only afford $1.
I know, but it's the same dollar, so I only wasted 50 cents a piece.
Yeah.
It's good for pairs.
Yeah.
Good.
Because it'd be the same serialized number.
Yeah. You can make a pair of jeans out of all those dollars one day. One of these days.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Hey, I should send you these so that way you could, whenever you're using that tip, you could put these batteries in it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That's funny. All right. So where are we at? You know, I just realized we're at an hour and a half, so we should take off. You guys are awesome. You guys got anything else to say before we take off here to the cool crowd?
Yeah, just real quick, I want to thank everybody that showed up yesterday for Coffee and Clouds with me, your friendly neighborhood Skeletor.
Yeah, it went great.
It went absolutely epic. I think it flowed a little more smooth. I was in a groove a little better than I was on the first show, but the first show was exactly that, the pilot. But don't forget, next week's replay is going to have a giveaway of a 500-foot spool of the new Hostile Clouds Alchemy Artist Wire. You know, we'll do a hashtag for the giveaway from the live show next week, which I'll do a live drawing on the Wednesday show that's after my WTF 1-year anniversary show. So that'd be pretty cool. Other than that, we just got a couple reviews coming up for WTF that we're going to film on the anniversary of. So that's going to be kick-ass. We're doing a live feed on Facebook as well while we do that. So that's going to be cool. We'll probably get a couple 12 packs of beer and maybe about 15 or so pizzas and just have people coming in and out all day.
That sounds awesome.
Yep. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Anybody that's local in the area that wants to swing through, not next Tuesday, but the following Tuesday, the 24th, that's when we're going to be doing that.
That's fun. What about you, James? Anything going on over there in Alabama?
Nope. Just waiting to see about the FDA regs, whether or not I get to keep the job or not.
Yeah, everybody go to Not Blowing Smoke, go to fdaregs.info and bookmark it. They're going to announce what's going on with the regulations right there. And then, of course, stay tuned to Vaping for Beginners and Badass Vapor on Twitter for more updates. And right now we have the raw info. We're going to be getting more analysis and stuff as we go. And we'll be talking about it here, at least some, on Vaping Done to Dusk and on VapeAM next week. So
I'll probably touch on it too next week as well on Coffee and Clouds, because shit's popping off today.
Yeah.
I woke up this morning to a deluge.
Yeah, maybe so. So I want everyone to have a great day. We thank every single one of you guys. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe. And we're going to see you guys again on the Orbital Vaping headquarters pretty soon. And we're just going to vape out.
For sure. Remember,
Theorem
everybody,
Thursday.
It was Theorem Thursday. Great day today. Thanks, Juicy. Thanks, James. Thank you, everybody in chat. Remember, kick cigarettes, vape on, stay cloudy, and as always, peace out, y'all.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.